Hey Taurus, how y'all doing? Welcome. We're going to be taking a look at the first half of April general reading here. So in the meditation, I saw a very quick flash of a caterpillar and a turtle. The caterpillar is very much about taking your time getting to where you're going. As a Taurus, as a bull energy, as an earth sign, I think that's a beautiful, beautiful message for you guys and sort of an affirmation around going at your own pace and taking your time, when and where is needed. And then we have the turtle, which is a similar vibe in a way where it's about, pacing and taking your time. But there's also an aspect of turtle energy that is very Four of Wands, which speaks to happy home and family and having a cause to celebrate, right? Turtles are also associated with water energy, which takes me to the main aspect of your meditation, which was really interesting. So I saw a boat. It felt like I was during the time of the American Revolution. So this boat was kind of docked, in the water, but docked, so not out on the open sea. And I saw this person in the crow's nest with a telescope kind of looking out at the sea. And there wasn't much going on. It was a beautiful sunny day, and then the waters were cleared, and it seemed very idyllic. But there was this aspect of being on the lookout, and I saw the words "on the lookout." There's also an aspect within that says, that's one of my favorite quotes from Mother RuPaul, "If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready," right? And there's this very distinct feeling of remaining in a state of calm readiness. Not like, tense and stressed out and like what's about to happen, but more like the more ready you are, and we'll see how this unfolds, but the more ready that you are, the more available and able you will be to align yourself with opportunities that will present themselves. That's what this feels like, right? Which is really interesting because we're you're the next birthday season over here. So it's interesting that this is coming through in this way, saying, okay, you're going to be thinking about, the year that's been, you're moving into a new one. It's a time of reflection, right? It's a fascinating idea to be thinking about, well, I'm going to be reviewing things and looking ahead. And within that, I'm going to be doing so in a state of, observation, readiness, and a form of alertness as well. And so with the being on the lookout too, there's an aspect of staying very clear-headed and very with your eye sort of on the horizon, but just quite literally like being on the lookout. I feel like a lot of times people who are successful. They say like, oh, you were in the right place at the right time. I feel like there's an aspect of this that feels very Eight of Pentacles in a way, which is about hard work meeting up with talent. And so it's about that availability, right? You can have all the talent in the world. You can have all the qualifications in the world. You can be manifesting left, right, and center. But if you are not ready and available, right? If you're not present, right? Then none of that other stuff necessarily can come through to the finish line for you, which is interesting when I talk about finish lines and caterpillars and turtles. I almost feel like maybe you've been in a state of sort of a caterpillar / turtle hybrid energy where maybe it's been going at a bit of a more moderate pace, not much to see here, in some way, shape, or form. Maybe you're okay with that. You know what I mean? It feels pretty content. But now we're moving into a time where it's like, okay, but here's like the heads up that there are opportunities coming that I feel like we want to be on the lookout for. We want to be in a state of available readiness, right? Which is, it feels like there could be some exciting potentials within that, because why do you need to be on the lookout if something isn't going to be coming along that you're going to want to be ready and available for, right? So I'm going to get into the cards here, starting with the animal energy and all that good stuff. But before I do, I am trying a new format here. So I'm going to be coming to you with this mug for the opening meditation as usual. And then when we get to the cards, we're going to change camera angles and perspectives. It's going to be all about the cards. So this format is really intended to give you the best of both worlds, so that I can greet you with my personal meditation journey images, and then also so that you can see the beautiful, gorgeous cards on the table lined up for you and all of the images inherent in them. Because a lot of the times you can see things in them that I miss or I'm not paying attention to and that are personal for you. I really want you to have the best of both worlds. So that's going to be going on, and I would love to hear what you think about it. Please let me know what you think about the new format. I want to hear from you guys. Part of the reason I'm making this change is because I'm listening to what you're saying, and I want to give you what you want so that you get the most out of these readings, because that is the entire point of me doing them. So with that being said, one more quick announcement is my Facebook group. I've been talking a lot about this here Facebook group. I'm going to keep on talking about it because I really want you to join if you have not already. And it's a private Facebook group for metaphysically inclined, spiritual, supernatural loving, intuitively inquisitive people to get together in a safe, inclusive space and share stories and ask questions and talk about astrology or talk about tarot or talk about dreams or manifestation points, anything and everything. I would love for you to join. The link to sign up is in the description box below. And with that being said, let's go on and take a look at what's coming up for you in the first half of April. Hey Taurus, let's go ahead and see what your animal energy is for the first half of April. What's going on? What's going on? Ooh, oh, come on. This is too perfect. So you guys have the bear, which is so perfect, considering everything that we were talking about with staying in a state of, preparedness and readiness, but at the same time in a chill, happy, positive, on the, in the crow's nest, on the lookout way on a bright sunny day. And then we have the bear coming up here. So bear it's so beautiful, and it's earth energy, and you guys are earth signs. That is always very auspicious. So amazing that you guys got this. Also, in the northern hemisphere, we've just come through the spring equinox, so it's another little nod to the time frame for you. Bear medicine is all about knowing when to come out of the cave and when to remain in the cave. Bears are a master of timing in this sense, a little bit different, a master of timing than, let's say, the crocodile or, another animal that teaches us that medicine. But this is very much about, coming from a place of personal instinct and your personal highest and best timing, right? It's personal. Bear medicine is very personal around, what works for you, right? Which is so perfect. We're talking about this. So this can also equate in the tarot to a sort of a 5 of Pentacles energy, right? When the bear medicine is not heeded. So it's when we feel that need to rush ahead or get something done or do things for the sake of being busy. Or on the flip side, when we, to the, extreme, just kind of want to escape away and rest and not be active at all, when it's the season and the time and the universe is asking you and prompting you to do so, right? So this is a really beautiful way to look at being ready and available for the opportunities that might come along, right? So it's not about being in the back of the cave. It's about being, right on the border. So you got your, your toes in the sun there so that you're ready as these opportunities come along. And I think that that's a beautiful image for you to consider going into this month, where if you have your cave, your den there, right? Back to that 4 of Wands aspect of happy home and family, or a good, strong foundation, right? Being in that cave, but being half in, half out, being on the edge of it, just like spring with, the dark time going into light time, being at the edge of that cave so that you can see outwards, so that you can be available if you should be inspired to act on an opportunity that comes your way. It feels very, very good for y'all. So I like that. I like seeing the bear in this context. Sometimes the bear can be a bit of a tough medicine, but I feel like in this regard, it's actually quite auspicious for you, given what we were talking about. So let's see what's going on for the first half of April for Taurus. Oh my goodness. Okay. So, right. we had the Five of Swords here. This is interesting. So we were just talking about the Five of Pentacles, right? And now we're talking about the Five of Swords. So 2 fives there, which is the number of change. You know, Five of Swords, well, first of all, swords are very much about the thoughts that we think, are the mental realm, communication. Five of Swords is very much about being outside of one's integrity or acting outside of one's best interests, right? Or another's best interests. This isn't the most comfortable energy that there is, but it does speak to important aspects that need to be looked at. I am really drawn to these 2 poor card people. I don't know what you call them card people, right? In the background here. And I'm thinking with this Queen of Hearts, like she's got something, right, that she wants at their expense. And I feel like there's something about that. I feel like you're being asked to consider in your given circumstances, whether this is home, relationship, work, personal health and growth, personal wellness, self-care, whatever this is, what has benefited at the expense of something else? Because it feels like we're talking about something that's a bit imbalanced here. And it doesn't have to be that dramatic where it's like, oh, you know, like this awful thing happened and I was cheated out of this money. No, it doesn't have to be something like that. But it could even be something that's a bit like, well, I've been focusing a lot on other people and less on my own business. I've been focusing a lot on helping their dream come alive and not as much on mine. I've been focusing a lot on my work to the detriment of my rest time, whatever that is, right? But I feel like that's the question coming up here in the first position. It feels like we're talking about something that's imbalanced, that could be not necessarily supporting the aim to be in a place of balanced readiness, that you're available for something new to come along, right? Something about that. Wow. Okay. So now, wow. This is really interesting. So we have the 3 of Pentacles, right? So we have the 5 of Pentacles with the Bear energy, the 5 of Swords, and now the 3 of Pentacles. For some reason, I want to point out that they're all odd numbers. I feel like that's important for some reason. So 3 of Pentacles, this is very much about your own personal magic, your own, you know, personal point of pride. This is the artisan key, right? This is like doing work that you particularly are genius at, right? This is like craftsmanship. This is artistry. This is a long-lived legacy of you leaving work behind that others can benefit from, that you're very proud of, and you feel like, yeah, I'm really good at what I do. No one else can do what I do like I do. That's the 3 of Pentacles. You know, it's interesting here because we're talking about balance, right? And then we have Alice on a ladder here, which is, you know, she's having to balance and keep her weight quite central, which is also taking me to the crow's nest aspect of the meditation. I feel like there's something about reviewing your foundation, right? Reviewing what's working and what's not, reviewing your foundation, and maybe being open to some changes, more of this, less of that, whatever that is for you. Because I'm also very much drawn to the fact that this rose tree, right? I guess technically they're rose bushes, but this is most certainly a rose tree. It's not in the ground. Like the pot itself, you see that? It's in a pot and it's going to outgrow that. So why would you take all this time putting this effort? I'm getting a really strong deja vu, by the way, Taurus. Really strong deja vu right now. Why would you put in all this effort into this rose tree, right? Why put in all the effort if you know that it's just going to outgrow this pot? Why not plant this in the earth? I want to ask you, what are you waiting on? What have you been putting off? Or what have you been thinking is not the right time, or, you know, not really, you don't know how that would work. It's not probable. Maybe it's not, you know, too wise, or it would be too much of a risk. Something you've been putting off is coming through here. It's like, why are you putting effort into something that is not going to be around in the strongest way possible? I'm hearing take the time to do the work, but take the time to consider your long term, which makes sense with that crow's nest aspect as well. Take time to consider your long term goals, plans, aspirations. Feels that way. Oh, it's so good. Y'all, The 10 of Pentacles. This is about the long term. This is ancestry. This is family. This is like having it made in terms of your finances and your work and your happy home and family. This is so funny because this is the long term key, right? You see the ancestors on the wall here, and we're talking about giving your attention to the long term. That's what it wants to be. I keep going back to that crow's nest and being able to like look out and be ready. I feel like you're being asked to consider like what do you want your legacy to be? Where do you want to be? What changes could you make right now that would support your long-term goals? That's the question. That is the question. And why do I want to say like she's sleeping on this chair underneath her ancestors? Because she's really earned it. Like this girl is tired. Like this isn't just like a light snooze in the sun. Like she is tired. Couldn't even make it to the bedroom. She had to collapse on this. I'm really hearing to put the work in, right? And of course it's like work smarter, not harder, of course. But there is an aspect of something that wants to be given your time, attention, and availability. Okay, I feel like this opportunity is coming along. We're going to get clarifiers, of course. But I feel like this opportunity or series of opportunities that are coming along, you are going to want to have whatever it is that needs to be ready. Your work portfolio, your resume updated, your house in order, your whatever this could possibly be. You are going to want to be ready and available for this, right? There's something about this that I feel like things are coming through. The universe could be, sending you people, places, things, and signs and opportunities that are like, hey, this could help you achieve ABC, XYZ. Are you ready? Is everything up to date? Are you on the lookout? There's something about that, Taurus. And I feel like this is like a heads up as you go and, prepare for your birthday season, which is a time of wishes and wish fulfillment, right? So get thee ready. Okay, so we have the King of Wands here to clarify the Five of Swords, which is just like perfection. King of Wands, the wands are about the actions that we do or do not take around the work that we're passionate about. It can also be about the relationships in our lives that really inspire us and propel us forward and onward, right? So with the King of Wands, what's really interesting, we have another key talking about timing. Just like the bear, just like the caterpillar, just like the turtle, right? The King of Wands knows when to move and when to be still. He never wastes time, and he's always available for his highest and best offers here because he's never off doing something that isn't worth the effort or the time. He is brilliant at this. This is a beautiful energy for you to consciously tap into when the bear comes into play, right? Saying, please teach me and allow me how to work with my own personal metronome, right? Of like when to act, when to rest, what to make ready, what to be available for. It feels like there's a spring cleaning that wants to be done, but in reverse. Instead of a spring cleaning where you're tidying up an external environment, it feels more like a spring call to action where you're being asked to just whatever you feel inspired to take action around or do, listen to that calling, right? Again, if you feel inspired to update your resume, update your LinkedIn, update your whatever it is, or even like I feel really called to like get back into my self-care regimen. I feel like doing that self-care stuff again. I feel like returning to my morning run again. I feel like doing that. Whatever it is, ABC, XYZ, whatever it is, whatever you're feeling called to do, there's a higher reason for it. And the universe is trying to prepare you for what's to come. That's what this very much feels like with the King of Wands and the Five of Swords. And this is asking you to consider what's imbalanced, what wants to be, more, what wants to be less. Take note of those things and take action around them. It feels important. You're going to be glad that you did. The World key to clarify the Three of Pentacles. Now this is success. This is successful ending, completion of a cycle, graduation day, absolute bliss. So, just huge returns on your investments, whether that be energetic investment, monetary, whatever it is. But what's really interesting is the fact that it, first of all, it's your first and only major arcana so far, and it's the World, which is the last key in the major arcana. I feel like that is significant, right? And it's the key of success, which is just, it's so auspicious. The fact that it's clarifying the Three of Pentacles and we're talking about why is this not in the soil? Like, why is there not room being made for something that's really important and could lead to long-term thinking and legacy and fulfillment? Are you thinking about just making it through or getting through the now? Or are you, which is not the same as not being in the present moment. Are you doing that? Or are you able to think about, you know, your children or children's children? Or if you don't have children, like when you're older, like what do you, when you leave this earth, what do you want your legacy to be? What do you want your obituary to say? What do you want to look back on when you're retired or whatever it is your situation is and go, yeah, like that's how I left my mark and legacy. Maybe for you, and I'm going to talk about this because it's coming through, it's very specific, but for some of you, I'm feeling like a good example to cite around this is, let's say that you do have kids, right? You can even frame this to the point where you want to say, you know, what do I want to set my kids up for? What kind of legacy do I want to create for my children? Right? And it's not just like a monetary thing where you're setting them up like monetary. It's what do you want them to grow into in terms of, you know, if I'm setting the example, what example am I setting? Right? Thinking along those lines and thinking big around this, because I feel, and that's an example, right? It could be anything, but I feel like this is tying into something that you are meant to do here. And it feels work related to me. It is Three of Pentacles, hello, and Ten of Pentacles. This feels like work that you particularly are meant to do. And you're being asked to make way, time, and room for that because there are opportunities coming through around that you're going to want to be available for. And this is not work. This is not what I'm feeling like work where it's just like, you know, I go in, I punch the clock, and then I go home. This is work that like is aligned with your soul purpose that you are really good at. Right? And the answer to that, or the aspects of that, might surprise you, but it could be anything. It could be owning your own business. It could be writing. It could be, you know, being a, you know, life coach that just came through. Whatever it is, there is something about allowing yourself to be available and ready for it, right? It's really nice. It's always good to have a heads up. Ten of Pentacles. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, so to clarify the Ten of Pentacles, we have the Two of Swords. Fascinating here. We have the Moon coming up again. We also had it coming up in the World key. So with the Two of Swords, this is a meeting of the heart and the mind. You're bringing them together for equal counsel, and you are considering both what the information that each has to give you, right? But this is a timeout and a pause for consideration. And then we have Sleeping Alice here. This is so perfect because we're talking about work that you're meant to do, what you specifically are good at, your soul mission, your soul purpose, your legacy, your long-term thinking, right? How do you want to have left the world when you leave it? That's what we're talking about with Ten of Pentacles. And then we have the Two of Swords here asking, you know, can you take the time out and pause and really consider this? Can you consider this? Because it matters and it's important and you have a say in it. And for whatever reason, for what's coming down the line for y'all, you are being asked to consider this right now and then be open and available to divinely inspired action that comes as a result of being available to the information. Does that make sense? It feels like you are really aligned with a particular potential here, and it feels wonderful. It's the best way I can think to put it. Like it feels wonderful. It really, really does. So I want to get an oracle for y'all. I'm feeling like the vintage oracle here. There is something about your birthday season, though. I will say that. There's something about the birthday seasons. Really is. And specifically, I'm really drawn to the color red in this as well, which, you know, corresponds to the root chakra, our money, our finances, our physical health and body, right? Okay. Oracle for Taurus, first half of April. so beautiful. Okay. Ooh. Wow. Can you see that? Okay. So we have grace here. This is really, really beautiful. So what I'm getting around this, and I feel like, did I ask this? I feel like I asked this in a giveaway I did once here on the channel about what do you think grace is, or is what is grace to you? So that's coming through right now. And I feel like there are a few aspects of this for you. First of all, I feel like this is going to be a very personal meaning for you in terms of like what grace is. When you think about the word, people say grace, they give thanks, but there's also an aspect of forgiveness inherent in grace. Right? And I feel like there's a certain aspect of showing yourself the grace, right? To give yourself the time and the space and the availability to really pursue what matters to you in your dreams. It feels really important because I feel like we're speaking here. Look at this. Do you see how they're kind of dressed similarly? They both have like some purple going on, and they're both standing amongst flowers, but they look like they're underneath the sun. They look like two very different energies here. We've got this energy it feels imbalanced. It feels like she's gaining something at their expense. And then we've got this woman here who just seems to be in a state of grace, completely calm and relaxed and balanced, right? And these two counter energies feel important here. And I feel like this aspect of grace is something that you are being asked to show your potential. Right? Treat your own potential with grace, with belief, with faith, with maybe even forgiveness in some cases. You may be, thinking about this saying like, man, I've really let that go. Or man, I really didn't believe in that dream enough. And it's, I really want to give it a go, because at least then I can say I did whatever I could, right? Give your potential the grace that it deserves, I feel like is the message here. And what a beautiful message, Taurus. It's very beautiful. This could be you. Or, a man, if this could be you. It feels really beautiful. Also, quickly, she's, in the middle of something as well. We're talking about the bear, and then being on the edge of the cave, and then being on the lookout in the water, and she's standing in front of a body of water underneath the sun, which is a reflective surface as well. So I feel like there is another message of, being able to reflect and see clearly as well in terms of your part in your own destiny and your own potential, and where any imbalances might lie so that you can tend to them, right? All right, Taurus, I am sending you so many blessings for the first half of April. Thank you so much for being here. Please let me know what you think of this new format, though, because I really want to know. I want to hear from you. What do you think? Did this work for you? Also, if you could share, and subscribe, that would make me so, so happy. And also just let me know in the comments if this helps and resonates, because I so hope that it does. I love hearing from you guys. I respond to all your comments. And so I really love reading those and talking to you guys in the comments section. And with that being said, just thank you again. Thank you so much for being here. And most of all, and as always, thank you for being you, and be well. Until next time.